The best college basketball team on the planet just continued their winning streak.
You are Locked On Gators, your daily podcast on the Florida Gators, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Locked On Gators, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thanks for making Locked On Gators your first listen of the day every day. We are available daily and free wherever you listen to podcasts and on YouTube. I am Brandon Olson. As always, find me on Twitter at WNS_Brandon. Find all my written work with New York Giants on SI. Bechet, what's up? BTA, baby. BTA, go Gators. The best basketball team on the planet, the best college basketball team in the country, the best college basketball team in the SEC, the best college basketball team in the top two, the best college basketball team alive right now has just extended their winning streak after destroying the Oklahoma Sooners 85-63. Clock hasn't even run out on my screen yet, but we're going to have some fun here and enjoy it. But this was just another ass whooping that the Florida Gators put on another SEC opponent, on another team where they cannot hold a candle to the talent that is on this Florida Gators roster. They cannot hold a candle to this team. The only team that will beat the Florida Gators basketball team is the Florida Gators basketball team. Okay? That's the kind of vibe we're on tonight. All right? I'm going to say that right now. That's the kind of vibe we're on. Florida Gators, through their past, 5 games, 85-63 win over Oklahoma, 88-67 win over South Carolina, 81-68 win over number 22 ranked Mississippi State, which is now number 21 ranked Mississippi State, which just blew out number 7 Texas A&M by 16. Game before that, Florida Gators beat number 1 Auburn. By the way, the win at Mississippi State. Okay. Game before that, Florida Gators beat number 1 Auburn at Auburn by 9, and it was pretty handedly decided earlier than that in favor of the Florida Gators. No doubt about that. They closed the gap to make the score look better, but the Florida Gators beat that ass all night long too there. And the win before that, an 11-point win over Vanderbilt. The Florida Gators right now are playing like the best college basketball team on the planet. And the reason for that is that right now, the Florida Gators are the best college basketball team on the planet. There is no discussion to be had about it. Right now, they're the best. Right now, put them toe-to-toe with any team, and they beat them. Because guess what? The only team that's ranked higher than Florida right now is a team that Florida beat 2 weeks ago. That's it. That Florida beat on the road 2 weeks ago. That's the only team ranked higher than Florida right now. Okay? This is a Florida Gators team that has struggled for the first half of the season of conference play, has struggled with consistently stringing together good performances, the same way I just struggled to put together good words in a sentence. But this is a team that struggled to put together consistently dominant performances to start the year, right? Start conference play. Lost to Kentucky at Kentucky, destroyed Tennessee in Gainesville, scraped by Arkansas by a few, lost to Missouri in Gainesville, blew out Texas, barely beat South Carolina, where the only time you were leading that game was with 5.3 seconds left, and then you walked away with a victory there. Destroyed Georgia in Gainesville, went to Tennessee, got blown out, put out only 44 points. And since that game, since the Tennessee loss, the Florida Gators have been the best college basketball team in the country. Because what they've done is, despite the injuries, despite anything, they've gone out there and they've not just won the game, but they've won the game definitively against every single team, including the team that was number one when the Florida Gators beat their ass, and the team that's number one right now when the Florida Gators would beat their ass again in the Auburn Tigers. The Florida Gators are the best team in basketball right now, okay? There's no other way around it. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care what anyone disputes. The Florida Gators, they're the best team in college basketball. And look, there's still, 5 games left for the Florida Gators in SEC play, and then the SEC tournament, and then March Madness starts. They might not be the best basketball team in the country when March Madness starts. They might not. They might not be the best college basketball team in the country when the SEC tournament starts. That does not change the fact that right now, they are the best college basketball team on the planet. Put them up against anybody. They're going to win. This team has just been absolutely on fire, and it kept going tonight. 46 points in the first half. Watch it, Brandon. I haven't been looking at the chat, but watch it, Brandon. You know how sensitive Auburn fans are. Good. I hope they're watching. I hope they're crying. I hope they're I almost said the B word. I hope they're in the Discord right now crying and being little babies like they are. Which, by the way, I will say this. The mod that put me in timeout both times did acknowledge that last year when Auburn beat Florida, I was a good sport about all the trolling. And now that Florida's beating Auburn, they are pissing themselves because they're pathetic and miserable. Okay? That's what they are. Most of the Auburn fan base sucks. Okay? So, Florida right now, best team in the country. Garrett said, to be fair, Florida beat Tennessee before Tennessee beat them. So your list of who they beat definitively after that loss was misstated a little. No, it's not. Because after that loss, they've definitively beaten everybody. Like as in without question. It's not like, oh yeah, just a couple missed shots away. So they got handled in that game, absolutely. But since that loss, they've been absolutely dominant. That's my point. Which, by the way, I don't think I've ever seen you in here, Garrett. So welcome to Locked On Gators. Because I don't think I've seen you here before. You look like a new name. But welcome. But Florida Gators, I mean, and here's the thing too. No individual player just absolutely erupted tonight, right? Like Walter Clayton Jr. was on fire, but he didn't shoot that much. He had 9 field goal attempts. He had 18 points, but 9 field goal attempts. Will Richards started hot. He started like 3 for 4, if I'm not mistaken. Finished 4 for 10, 14 points. Denzel Aberdeen shot 1 for 9. Reuben Chinulu had 11 points. Was it 5 over 20? Oh, 5 over 10 as in did 5 players score double digits? Yes, 5 players scored double digits. Reuben Chinulu had 11. Will Richard had 14. Walter Clayton had 18. Then on the bench, Urban Klavzar had 10 points. And Elijah Martin had 14 points. Like that's what we just saw. The Florida Gators have 5 players score 10 points. 2 more score 7, including, and both of those guys shot horribly tonight, right? Thomas Hulk 1 for 5, so I guess it's not a larger sample size, but Denzel Aberdeen shot 1 for 9. And you still handled business there. And also Denzel Aberdeen's 3 was an, I don't know what, it was just like once he shot it, I was like, oh, that just looks so smooth. And then when we got to see a bunch of people play, we got to see the Florida Gators destroy Oklahoma. And I sent out a message to the subtext group. I was like, hey, man, like, we might go live early just to disrespect them. Okay. And Florida just took care of business there. Reuben Chinulu played one of the better offensive games that we've seen from him. Florida did not do much, or not that they didn't do much on the offensive glass, but it felt like, not a, I'm trying to describe this as, it didn't feel like they completely dominated the offensive glass, right? it was a lot of Thomas Huck just tipping the ball out and Florida winning the loose ball. Like, it didn't feel like Florida just went out there and dominated the offensive glass. Reuben Chinulu still walked away 5 of 7 shooting. Like, that was a great performance. Micah Handlocked and scored again, and that's just, I feel so good just watching him play. Like, he's just such a, like, you could tell he's a pretty genuine person. He seems like, at least, and the unselfish decision to come back was incredible. But the Florida Gators right now, they're the best college basketball team on the planet. I don't care what anyone says. And again, I'm not saying that they're going to go all the way. I did bet that they'd go all the way. I'm not saying that they're going to win the SEC. I'm not saying that they're going to do any of that. What I am saying is that they are the best college basketball team on the planet right now. That's what I'm saying. And guess what? I'm not wrong. We're going to get to the chat when we get back with this bonus episode of Locked On Gators. This is a message from sponsor Intuit TurboTax. Taxes was dealing with piles of paperwork and frustrating forms, and then waiting and wondering and worrying if you were going to get any money back. Now, Taxes is easily uploading your forms to a TurboTax expert who's matched to your unique tax situation, an expert who's backed by the latest technology, which cross-checks millions of data points for 100% accuracy. While they work on your taxes, you get real-time updates on their progress, and you get the most money back guaranteed, all while you just go about your day. No stressing, no worrying, no waiting. Now, this is Taxes. This is Intuit TurboTax. Get an expert now on TurboTax.com. Only available with TurboTax Live full service, real-time updates only in iOS mobile app. See guarantee details at TurboTax.com/guarantees. Thanks for being Locked On Gators, your first listen of the day, every day. We are available daily and free wherever the podcast and on YouTube. We're going to get to the chat now. And I love you all, by the way, for being here. I have, besides the team being awesome, I've had a blast with these live shows. That we've done more this season, if I'm not mistaken, already than we did all of last season. And we will try to continue to do them. I know that I've seen a few people go, oh, like, in the subtext group, which if you want to join the insider program, the link's in the description below. If you want to join the Discord, the link's in the description below as well. But I've seen quite a few people go, oh, it feels like forever since we've gone live. I was in Canada for a little bit. Okay. 5 days, whatever. But damn, it's good to be back. Bichet BTA, we acknowledged that one before, playing like the best team in the nation at the moment. Rob, that's because they are the best team in the nation at the moment. Go Gators, let's keep rolling, make us number one. They won't do it. They should have done it already. They won't do it. As wrong as they want to be, they're entitled to be wrong all they want. They are. We'll see. You know, I mean, Florida's next ranked game is March 1st versus Texas A&M. We'll see what happens there, but they've also got 2 road games coming up, so let's not look past those. I don't want to get that confident. What's up, everybody? Who's hotter than us? Nobody, Q. Nobody. What's up, Yale Bass? That was neato. It's all meshing at the right time, said it a month ago. If it came together, they would be dangerous. Here's the thing. I just hope that they keep it together, because this was a team that for a while wasn't figuring it out. So I'm hoping that they've figured it out, and now they will be able to continue that success. Scotty Wilbecken is in the house. Let me just say this real quick. Chris, thank you for bringing that up. I'm glad you brought that up because I'd like to say one thing real quick. I would die for Scotty Wilbecken. I would just lay my life out there. I would die for Scotty Wilbecken. Got real luck tonight. Yep, just scraped by skin of their teeth. This team's definitely number one. B2A business handled tonight. They've been on a roll. Couldn't agree more. Right now, no one can stop them. Watch it, Brandon. You know how sensitive Auburn fans are. I saw that already. I said that already. I wanted to say it again because I hate you. I just know that. Not you, Rob. Auburn fans. Most of you, I hate you. There's like 5 that are cool. The rest of you suck. Just know that. Want to throw that one out there. That 3-point line is like a nice final. Yeah, I mean, Florida shot 37.5% from 3. You take out the bad shooting game by Denzel Aberdeen, and that's 11 for 27 from 3. You're shooting mid-40s. And at one point in the game, Florida was like 8 for 15 to start. They were just on fire to start there. Shutting down Fears was huge. Yes, that was Yeah. By the way, go tamper for Jeremiah Fierce. I'm cool with it. Just go tamper for him. Get him if you can. If he's not going to the league, go get him. And then Garrett, again, we covered almost every game. We were 16-point favorites. Yeah, 16.5-point favorites. Look like a pro team right now. Yes, got your point. There we go. Was it 5/10? We talked about that. Klavzar was nice. I really like what he brings to the table, man. Just honestly, I feel like he's not an incredible player, but he's the perfect role player on a national championship team. Which this is a team with national championship expectations, right? National championship aspirations. So we can say that's the goal, right? I think he's a role player or sixth man on a national championship team. That's what Florida's trying to be. So he should be filling that role. That's fantastic for Florida. I love it. If they hit the free throws at Rupp and for a slow start at Missouri, yep. Just deep everywhere. It's incredible. DJD said, love your content. By the way, I think the Florida game at Tennessee was a fluke on offense for us, but overall, I still probably have Auburn number 1, Florida number 2. This is coming from a Florida fan who lives on the campus. Thank you for loving the content. Thank you. I honestly, I'm not mad about Auburn being ranked number 1, but you know how it is with their fans, right? So, war damn, you lost at home, so I don't care about that one. But thank you so much for appreciating the content. And absolutely, that's why I talked about it in the third segment either yesterday or the day prior. Actually, it might have been today. But that Tennessee game where Florida scored 44, honestly, I just throw it out. Because that was one of the game where one of the very few games, and really this year, the only game where nobody showed up offensively. If you have a game like that where everyone's even missing open shots, it's just a bad game. And that's sports. Sometimes you just have bad games, and that happened there. And so, yeah, well, I'll walk with that one. Awesome game. Real number 1. Urban is a bright future at UF. He'll be a big part of the offense next season. You could see that they play for each other. Yeah, absolutely. And it's awesome to see them do that, right? I feel like they're having fun. They're whooping ass. That they're having just a great time. And it's awesome. I love it. I love it, absolutely. We're the best and we ain't even healthy. Alex Condon's not there. Alex Condon's now getting first round NBA draft hype, and he's not even playing right now, and you're still blowing out Oklahoma by 22. You're still winning handedly without him. And you're getting key minutes from a guy that hasn't played basketball in 10 months? 11? Pretty good. A&M and Bama are going to be huge games. Oh, man, yeah. The A&M game is going to be really interesting. Bama's at Bama. That's going to be a tough one. Not going to lie. That's going to be a tough one. What about Klavzar, Brandon? What's up, Juan? Look, I love him. Like I said, role player on a championship team. TurboTax. Look, I will say this. I've been using TurboTax my entire professional life. And I love when we get a sponsor that is a company that I use, or that I already use. I love it. Hey, Brandon, fun stuff. That's how you share the ball. Best guards and bigs getting better. Yeah, I mean, that's again, this is a thing that we've talked about, where a lot of the teams that make deep runs in March Madness, the tournament. I don't know why I keep specifically calling it March Madness and not just the tournament, but a lot of teams that make those deep runs have good guard play from multiple guards, ideally, and Florida has that. They've got the blueprint there. Garrett said, and Brandon, thanks for welcoming me. I'm chatting here from Labuan Bajo, Indonesia, island of Flores, butted up against a mountain with the ocean and islands within 15 minutes motorbike ride. Well, I'll tell you what, you are the first person that I think has ever tuned in from Indonesia. And so thank you. It's also, is it early morning for you? Florida grad in 95. Mother still lives in Gainesville. You graduated the year that I was born, and based on when my birthday is, you probably graduated before I was born. So fun fact there. Don't know what you want to do with that information, but Fun fact there. DJ Cal said another one. You've been saying it. I said it too. Once this team came together, they'd be dangerous. Seen it the first Tennessee game. Boy, it's happening. I love it too, Rob. It's awesome. It's incredible. Zach, Brandon finally having a good team so he can talk crap. Let me tell you. So we do those squad shows. And if you're new here, we do this, right? If you're new here, we have some live shows where we just get off the rails and talk and have fun, and it's fine. We'll probably go another like 10 minutes about this. It's fine. But Zach Fink saying Brandon finally having a good team so he can talk crap. We do those squad shows and we record them usually on earlier in the week. They come out Thursdays. We alternate when we record them. But every time people talk about, oh man, if Brandon has a good team, he's going to be terrorizing us. Like they're just like, oh, if Brandon ever has a good team, he's going to be a menace. Knock, knock, baby. I'm here. We got a national championship caliber team that I'm covering. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. We're going to have a good time covering Florida basketball. I'll tell you that. They should win Saturday. LSU's 2-10 in the league. They should absolutely win. But here's the thing. I am not overlooking any SEC team on the road right now. Sure, Florida quite easily beat the number one team in the country on the road. Or sorry, the number one ranked team. They're the number two team in the country. But the number one ranked team in the country on the road. But I'm still not going to overlook anybody on the road. Especially because every team's going to show up for Florida, right? Like every team knows, hey, this is the team where if you can upset them, that's incredible. They were bragging that the Oklahoma coach was 3-0 versus Florida, and he left 3-1 tonight. Yeah, like what a stupid thing to brag about. Just what a dumb thing. Like what a dumbass. Who does that? Oh man, it's just something. If only Florida football could be this good. I think Florida football is projected top ranked 10. Please, I'd love that. A&M is at home. Did I say they were on the road? I'm sorry if I said that. LSU and Georgia are on the road. Alabama's on the road, but A&M and Ole Miss are at home. A&M lost their one chance to be in the top 5. Texas A&M just got blown out by Mississippi State. Yeah, they did, but hey, Florida lost by 20 to Tennessee. So, and scored 44 points in the game. So I'm not going to overlook everybody. I am going to insult everybody that doubts Florida. Absolutely. But I don't want to do the thing where I'm just like, we're going to beat the crap out of everybody. I don't want to do that. I will tell you that Florida has, since losing to Tennessee, Florida has definitively put belt to ass on a lot of teams. I will tell you that. The disrespect talking about Duke should be ranked. Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get that. What's up, brother? What's up, Duval? Hope you're doing well, man. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing good. Hopefully I see you in a space one of these days. Is Will Harris going to the NFL? I don't know, but I will say this. Before Will Harris left Florida, I said to keep an eye on the NFL, especially if Brandon Staley gets hired as the Saints defensive coordinator. Brandon Staley was the Chargers head coach. Kellen Moore was their OC. They all got fired together. Brandon Staley is now the assistant head coach with the 49ers. Kellen Moore now being the head coach of the Saints. If he hires Brandon Staley from the 49ers, don't be shocked if Will Harris is their secondary coach or their any coaching position in the secondary. Don't be shocked if that happens because Will Harris was the assistant secondary coach under Brandon Staley. We're connecting dots here. That's a very valid thing to consider. So that was what I've been pointing out. So I would love it if that happened because then I'd be able to pat myself on the back for everybody that was saying that I'm going to be wrong and how egregiously wrong I am about the NFL thing. I hope that happens exactly how I described it. I think Elijah Martin can be inserted back into the lineup now. He's ready. I still love Aberdeen, Hogg, Clavsar, Micah, and Alexis off the bench. I don't see anyone better. Look, this is a fantastic team. There's legitimately, I'll say with Condon back, which I know obviously Condon's not back yet. But when Condon comes back and you've got Elijah Martin, there's legitimately, 8 starter quality players on this team? That's incredible. That's just talent. I don't want to say just depth. That's talent. It's awesome. I love it. How does this team right now compare to the 06-08 teams? Do we have the same depth of those teams? I think that yes and no, like as far as the same depth. I just think that this team is different. Just I don't know how to like. I feel like this team is more. They've just built the perfect roster for the way that they want to play, and the way that they want to play is one the most commonly played way right now, and two the most analytically sound way to play right now. Like I think if you put those teams against each other, like from the 06, 08 region, whichever of those years, and this team, like I think you're just going to be in for an absolute battle. I think those teams might win those, and the older teams might win though, just because I think defensively they'd be able to slow down this offense, and this team still has games where, there's open shooters or stretches where there's open shooters, and it's just tough to like you just get missed shots even when they're open sometimes. And so I think those older teams would win, but those were also, all-time great teams, right? You got 3 instant scorers off the bench, and Clavs, our defense is pretty good for that being his weakness. I didn't agree with the defense being his weakness thing. I felt like he was like he had steals, like he pickpocket every now and then. I didn't think he's going to be a lockdown guy at all. But I feel like he can kind of create transition opportunities, and I think that's huge. We're beating Alabama and Tuscaloosa. They played better down the stretch last season. Their time on a mission because of how we got cheated against Colorado. I was 8-95. Duval, you were 8-95. I'm gonna call you old, man. Goddamn one going off. What better way than to win the Natty? Bama too soft inside. I've watched them. I'm pretty sure everyone else has too. This team will beat them despite the refs this time. Depth of this team significantly better than those 06, 08 teams. They got to stay focused Saturday. LSU was playing good. They played Ole Miss really tough. I try to tell a lot of people that this is deeper than our natty teams. How many teams got 2 bench players that can score 20? Clavzar can get off too. Walter Clayton Jr. was on fire for a bit there. Walter Clayton coming back was huge for this team. It was great. Think about just the front court when they're all healthy. Our bench will make the Elite Eight. When they're all healthy, it's something. I think a big part goes to these coaches. The development's been beautiful. It's been incredible. Olivier Roux is going to be scary next year. If Olivier Roux can be even 70% of what I think a lot of people think he can be, he's going to be a menace. Like he's going to be Zach Edey, but better if he can be even just 70%. And I know Zach Edey, there's people that knock him and all that stuff. Yeah. But just as far as like impact wise on a team, I think he could do all that. Just that insane size, insane ability, just play bully ball there. It'll be great. Where are we? Walt, Will, and Martin average more than Brewer, Humphreys, and Green. Yeah, I think that a big thing for those teams were defense was the big thing. Look at all the guys from those old teams, and a bunch of them went to the NBA, and a bunch of them were thought of as like, yeah, he's not going to get you many buckets, but defense is going to be crazy. And I think that's the big thing, and I just err on the side of defense. 5 deep guards in Clayton, Richard, Martin, Aberdeen, and Clavzar. It's something, man. Like Zach Edey. Thank you, Juan. I hope you're doing well, Juan. Haven't seen you in the spaces in a while either. Which if you don't know, when I say spaces, I'm talking about the Twitter spaces. That my Twitter handle is WNS_Brandon. There's a bunch of people that host Twitter spaces. We're in there almost every single day. Talk about the Florida Gators during the daytime. So if you're at work and you want to listen, pop in there. There's quite a few folks in there. But thank you all so much for tuning in. Florida Gators belt to ass again. But thank you all so much for tuning in. It will genuinely, and I will continue to say this, genuinely never get old that I get to do this as a job. That's crazy to me, but it will never get lost to me. So thank you all so much for tuning in. I am Brandon Olson. Find me on Twitter at WNS_Brandon. We're going to be joined by Brian Smith tomorrow. Talk some recruiting. for the Florida Gators, talk just some of the roster, impact freshmen. We're going to have a good time. Feel free to join us there, and I will see you all next time.